Welcome to Talkin' Shit, the podcast where we get real about the unfiltered truths women face in the quest for perfection. I'm Jana, your host, a dietitian and fellow woman navigating the pressure to have it all together, the perfect body, career, relationships, and making it all look effortless. Who set that standard anyway? Here, we're calling out the diet fads, hustle culture, beauty standards, and everything else that keeps us feeling stuck. But we're not just venting, we're diving into how to break free and rewrite the rules on your terms. So, grab a coffee or a glass of wine and let's talk some shit. Together, we'll uncover how to live a life that's unapologetically yours. This is Talkin' Shit. Let's dive in. I'm very excited to have Lynda with us. Lynda and I connected at a networking event, and she has an amazing story and an amazing company. And I'm so excited to have a conversation with you today, Lynda. So let us get to know you. Who are you? And tell us a little bit about your story.
Thank you, Jana, for having me on. I appreciate it. Yes, we did meet at the networking event last December, and it was just an instant connection. So I appreciate you having me on your podcast today. Like you said, my name is Lynda Oniah, and I have a brand for tall women specifically. It's a denim line for tall women standing at 5'9" and up. Or, like I like to say, for women with longer legs or longer inseams that need long jeans to cover that leads all the way to their ankles. So our brand is called Stand Tall Jeans, and we can be found on social platforms at Stand Tall Jeans Official. And our website is standtalljeans.com.
Awesome. Yeah, it was quite funny because you came up to me actually and you were like, how tall are you?
I know.
Because I think I think without shoes, I'm about 5'8", but as soon as I start to
Hmm.
put on any shoe, it really, I could be up to like 6 feet tall, and
There
finding
you go.
is very, very difficult. So I love the conversation and the introduction, but what
Yeah.
really got you into this? Because I mean, so I've already done another podcast as far as like clothing and what that means to like what it represents essentially. But
Hmm.
I love your mission, and I love how
Hmm.
you change the narrative as it
Yes.
relates to jeans in particular. Um,
Specifically, yeah.
yeah, but share with us how that all came about.
Yeah. So if I can see you at eye level and we're having a conversation, which is what happened with us that evening, then you're pretty much a tall person in my eyes. So, and I do say, because in starting this brand and going as we are, there's been quite a few ladies that have come up to me, even though they're not as like 5'9" and up, they're long legged. And they too have the same challenges that tall girls have, where they're not able to find jeans that are long enough. The whole story for me, it started because I was in corporate America years ago, and I had a 15 plus year successful career in banking and treasury services. And we were in this world where we were able to wear jeans to work because of the whole like casual wear to work day, and that worked for me. But my challenge was I couldn't find any jeans that were long enough. I would either wear capris or have a pair of jeans that were barely long enough and had to fold them up. And in doing that, I previously also had a fashion design background, where I actually had a degree from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in San Francisco. And I thought to myself that if I have this background and I know what I'm doing in design, and there's this problem, why not come together to find a solution to it?
Mhm.
And that's what I did. So this idea kind of started percolating in about 2019, and I knew that the transition was coming, but I didn't know how and I didn't know when, because there's the anxiety of like losing that stream of income coming from your corporate life. But I knew this was bigger than myself, and it was a mission that I definitely wanted to address, and a gap in the market as a whole in fashion. And so I took the leap of faith, and I plunged into 10 toes deep, and launched the brand back in 2023. We launched in Q4 of 2023, and we've been going on since then. And our MO is to share the story and share the brand with as many tall and tall friendly women out there, because we want them to know that there are answers out there. I've been in this situation where I go to the dressing rooms in malls and boutiques and stuff, and I'm literally frustrated and I'm not finding anything to wear. If you look at my Instagram feed, I periodically post if moments where I'm in a dressing room and it's like, wah, wah, it's titled tall jeans, but it's really not tall. I stand at 5'11", and I wear at least a 38-inch inseam jeans, because I want the jeans to like literally get all the way down to the floor for me, even when I'm wearing heels. But in the industry, the tall standard is 35 inches in inseam. Sometimes that doesn't work. Right. And
Ah,
so that's clearly a gap in the market. And there's a lot of women that I've met since we launched this brand and going on different pop-up events that I try to capture and post as well so that people get to see the behind the scenes and know that this is an actual situation that we're trying to address. So many tall women have the same challenges across the country and really globally, if you will, because there's over, in fact, I did some statistics the other day and I saw over 2 million women worldwide are at least over 5'9" and up, and they don't have access to long enough jeans. That's a problem. That's a huge problem in the market.
yeah. So what I love about this, Linda, is that you saw this problem and you were like, I'm going to create a solution for that.
Yep.
Which is like
Yep.
that's a mindset. Like that's such a strong growth mindset. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
by that to like so many different things. But also what I hear in this, and maybe what we can dive a little bit deeper into is
Yeah.
this idea that so many women feel like their body is not right because
Mm.
clothes are not fitting them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like so
Mm-hmm.
even my friends that are shorter, right? Like they still have
Mm-hmm.
difficulty finding clothes
Mm-hmm.
for various reasons. And
Yeah.
you're saying now like, tall individuals also have that same difficulty. So this is where I really like to like separate out like one, it's your body's not the problem, right?
You took the words right out of my mouth. You took the words
Yeah.
right out of my mouth.
Why
Yes.
why is that so important though for us women to really understand
Mm-hmm.
as we're trying to show up in the world?
Yes. Yes.
And find clothes that fit and feel really good and feel really confident because yeah, like seriously, I will say I hate bra shopping and I hate jean shopping. Those are like the worst experiences. I'm like, I have to really, really I have to prepare myself to do this. So, can we talk a little bit more about that? Of like, your body's not wrong.
No, it's not. You're absolutely right. Your body is not wrong. See, years ago, I had a stint where I was in the retail world. So I worked in retail for a little bit and I had the beautiful opportunity to style a bunch of women of all different sizes and so on. And the one thing that kept coming up was exactly that. Oh, it doesn't fit me. I'm the problem. But it's a mindset that we have to get to, right? To let women know that you are not the problem. The clothes are not fitting because the manufacturer or the company or whoever that's creating them is only catering to a specific size or a size range of women. And that doesn't apply, and that doesn't mean that I'm the problem. It just means you, Mr. Manufacturer or Miss Manufacturer, you are not catering to me. I am not your target market. Is what it's coming down to. So it's a matter of going to find the brands that actually fit yourself, your body type, because you are beautiful just the way you are. You stand tall in your beautiful self, regardless of what your body type is. That's what you want to dress. Not to, because true story. I had to shift my own mindset to think differently in that regard, even before I started the brand. Because every store I went to, or everything wanted to buy, either the sleeves were too short because being a tall person, I had longer limbs, or the hips because I'm a little curvier. Nothing was fitting right because I wasn't the one that they were designing for. And I had to tell myself, I'm not the problem. I love the way I look. I want to dress my body the way it is, and that should not be it shouldn't be a negative. It shouldn't be a problem. And so it takes a lot because the industry has pushed a specific message in fashion of a certain type of beauty for so long, right? Of a specific type of like size range for so long that is considered the standard. Once upon a time, it was the double zeros. Like literally, when I was in retail, I saw us selling in this particular boutique. I saw us selling maybe size two or size extra small to extra large. That's fair. That's the standard size range. But then I saw us getting shipment that were like XXXS all the way to, I was like, who who are we catering to? You might be trying to expand your range of women that you're addressing, but don't make me as a human or as a woman that's curvy or taller feel like I have a problem and you're not catering to me, but you're only catering to a set type of people. So I felt like I had to like maybe lose more weight or, what do I need to do here to fit into the clothes? But then the mind shift happened when I realized it's not me, it's the industry. and this is what we're here to fix. This is what we're here to change the entire narrative to be more inclusive of women and more body types.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was just, I mean, I love that line that you said of like you tried to change to fix the industry, but the industry was never made for you.
Period. It was not, because
Yeah.
and it's something that it lifts your spirits in some in a very small way, but there's a big impact that it makes because I suddenly started to feel better about myself. I walk tall in a room. I'm more confident because one, what I'm putting on my body, I was what's the word I'm looking for? I was intentional about it. And because I was intentional about it, I'm happy with what I look like, and it makes a difference in how I relate to people too you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, how can we be more intent? Oh, so we talked a little bit before we started recording
I
about
know.
going up, right? Like
Yes.
showing up for yourself. And I feel like there's that in that intentionality piece, right?
Oh,
Like
yes.
how like what is the image that
Hmm.
you're wanting to essentially portray? And
Yeah.
clothing is really a way that we can express a lot of different things.
Oh, 100%. It is.
How does that connect for you?
Okay, so it connects in multiple levels, right? Like even preparing for this interview, I thought, okay, how do I want to project myself in my conversation with Jana? What do I want that to look like? What color lipstick do I even want to wear? Like even all of that detail, I was being intentional about it because at the end of the day, how do I feel about it is what matters. And when you feel great, you're able to take on the world. Like I cannot express enough what the feeling of greatness that happens with an individual when everything that's on you, you're representing who you are in that moment. And that's what a good outfit does. That's what a good ensemble that you put onto your body looks like. And essentially that's what we're doing with the tall women in that space as well. Because I've seen it countless times, even doing one-on-one styling sessions with women in this my current season of life, where I help them pick out the right outfits and the right pair of jeans, in my case at least, right? And once they wear it, it's almost like there's a light up on their faces that comes up, right? Because you're showing up as who you really are. You may not have known or maybe had the tools to know how to dress yourself or know that you should not be trying to fit into something that doesn't work for you. And in that regard, that's what we're here for, right? I almost call it like a fashion styling buddy because if I'm going to the mall with you, I'm going shopping with you, I'm helping you with a different pair of eyes, looking and seeing how it fits on your body. And that way you're able to show up differently because suddenly you realize my curves are good. My body is good. I don't have a problem. And that way you show up to your family and your friends differently because you look great and you feel great. So those two things are related. How you feel about yourself and how you dress yourself, the intentionality behind all of that, it makes a difference. When you show up in a world or in every space that you're in, it makes a difference.
Okay, so so I understand this more so from a personal like perspective. Like I had
Yeah.
a styling session done and they dressed me and I was like so uncomfortable with like half the stuff before and I was like, what is going on? And it actually like fit me. I didn't realize that I was wearing sizes way too big for my body. Like it was
Yep.
very
Yep.
like there was just a lot that through that experience was very eye-opening and it did change
Hmm.
not only how I perceive myself, but also how others perceived me.
Exactly.
And so that was a again a mindset shift. And I actually booked a speaking engagement because the lady liked my outfit. Like I was like, what
See?
is happening in this? Like right changes just your energy
Yep.
that you bring to the table.
It
But
does.
I can envision, and I'm thinking of just some different conversations I've had with coaching clients or just with women is some individuals say like, "Oh, well, I don't want the attention on me."
Mm, You're doing a disservice to yourself when you say that. One, you're either lying to yourself because you just don't want to take the time to show up for yourself, not even for everybody else, but for yourself to own the fact that or own where you are in that moment or in that season of your life. When I hear women say that, it's almost like you're hiding behind that statement because the true you is right there, but you're either shy of coming out, you're either like scared, there's some maybe anxiety there or something. But when people say that, it's usually to maybe hide something underneath and not and give yourself an excuse to not show up. It sounds like an excuse more than anything to me.
Yeah. And because it does, so I firmly believe in like energy, just in general.
Uh-huh.
And it takes a different energy to show up and really be your best self
Oh
than it
yeah.
does to maybe play in your comfort zone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely a lot of moving out of your comfort zone when it comes to showing up, right? Some people, or since we're talking about women, some women might need some more encouragement than others to show up differently, or to show up as their true self. I remember years ago when I was about 16 or so. And I had this moment of self-realization, of self-actualization, or at least the beginnings of, because at 16 you can't really fully know yourself, at least the beginnings of it. And I remember it was like an aha moment to me. I was reading a magazine. I was back in my home country, Nigeria, and in our family home, and I was like, it just what the article I was reading was about management and people, and how people and managing people are humans, and just the human connection to managing people. And I thought it resonated so deeply with me. It opened up a layer of myself to know that this is kind of person I am. And throughout my career, that's kind of showed itself, because I've been in one level of management position or the other, managing and dealing with people and learning along the way. But that starting point was a self actualization moment for me that carried through even in my adult life. So for me, maybe because it has come so easy to know, or to lean into what I consider myself or self-actualization era, it's easier for me to handle. But coming alongside someone who's having a challenge, or not easily able to show up as their true self, or maybe challenged with it, coming alongside them to help them realize that you are beautiful the way you are enough just as you are. That is a process. And I'm here to support in that way, but I know that it's a process for a lot of women to kind of understand and lean into their true self.
Mhm.
Yeah.
From from a cultural perspective, and just from what you've seen and what you've experienced with supporting women in this way,
Yeah.
what would you say are like the like maybe top two like biggest insecurities for women?
Ooh, I think insecurities for women, one, there's some of them that are just universal, right? Insecurities for women. And one of that is our bodies. Whatever part of your body is like in different season of your life, whatever part of your body is like insecurity for you in that moment. It could change next month, or it could change the month after, but our bodies are what I've seen as our number one insecurities. Maybe because I'm in the industry of fashion and retail, that I see that more often, but that's one thing that kind of stands out, whether you're in whatever part of the world you're into here. It's still the same thing across the board. And working through your mindset, like we were talking about earlier, to know that you are okay and enough just the way you are, and you look beautiful just the way you are. And so that's one. And then a second thing, I think, as far as insecurities, is maybe feeling like you, again, maybe it's because of my corporate background, but feeling like you don't want to go for that big promotion, because you don't feel like you're enough. If you look at the job description, you want to hit all of the buckets of the 10 descriptions that are listed on there before you actually go for it. Whereas if you hit, statistics have shown that if you hit at least 50 to 60% of the job description, you're okay to go for it. And that's the top two that kind of come to mind for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What would be the two things that you wish more women knew then as it relates to their
Mm.
body and clothing and how they show up?
Wow. So, as it relates to your body and clothing and how you show up, one of the things that comes top of mind for me, that I wish, or I would love for a lot of women to embrace, is the word that comes to mind is enough. That you are enough just the way you are. I mean, God created all of us. At least that's my firm belief, right? That we are created in His image, and so however you show up is no. There's no two persons like you. I'm a twin, and my twin and I are, as much as we are alike, we're extremely different. And she shows up in herself, and I show up in my true self. You might look at both of us and think we're the same, but our insides are 100% different from one another. So if you don't bring your unique self to the party, if you don't bring your unique self to the space that you're in, I feel like you're doing a disservice to the people around you, because they don't get to interact with the real you that you are. So, number one, you are enough just the way you are. There's absolutely nothing you can do that can take that away from you. It can take the job away from you. You can take the clothing away from you. You can take all these things away from you. But at the end of the day, the essence of who you are is unique to you. And that's what you want to bring to the table always.
Hmm.
Yeah. And a thought that actually comes to mind when I say the essence of who you are, right? When the essence of who you are is the thoughts or your point of views or the things that you bring to the table that nobody else can. And
Hmm.
if you don't bring that thought to the table, then I would maybe project my assumption of who you are to you, or I maybe or think you are a certain type of person, but you're not. And then that might even create some kind of friction because I will treat you as what I think you are versus who you really are.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? And so at the
Whoa.
end of the
Yeah.
right? And at the end of the day, it's like when we interact and you bring your full self to the table, then we are interacting on a more real level, and we're getting to know each other as we are in those moments. And that's a very powerful thing, I think.
So powerful. Yeah. And
Yeah.
now you're not playing small.
I know, right?
Right. But yeah. Okay. So what is the first thing is for women to know they are enough as is, and also
They
not
are enough.
going in this like other direction of like, because I work with a lot of women that want to lose weight, and I'm not
Hmm.
weight loss. It just depends on if
Hmm.
you want to do that, and is it really supporting you in the best way possible, or is another way that you
Hmm.
to shrink and restrict and not,
Hmm.
right? Like the we want to delineate that. Um,
Yeah.
Often they'll say, "Well, I don't buy no new clothes, or I keep like an old pair of pants as like a size smaller, right? Like as motivation
Hmm.
to do the thing." Why
Mm.
why don't we actually want to do that?
I know, I know. I hear that a lot, especially like I said, I go throughout the pop-ups last year and early this more recently that I went to. A lot of women are telling me, "Oh, I would, but I'm in a journey. And you're denying your full self from showing up in the moment today. You know, nobody can guarantee tomorrow, but today we can guarantee that we look good and feel good. And so let's dress the body that we have today, not tomorrow, today when tomorrow comes and you're further along in your journey and you want to look a certain type of way because now you're in a different space, dress that girl. Dress that girl for where she is that day because sometimes your mindset might even be different, right? The mindset that you have today with the body that you have today is one thing. And then tomorrow when maybe you've reached your goal weight as you maybe think you need to be or whatever that journey looks like for you, dress that girl for that day. But today, don't deny yourself of looking as beautiful and as gorgeous as you feel on the inside. So that's kind of my take about when people tell me, "Oh, I'm on a journey to lose weight." I'm like, it's almost like you're denying yourself from greatness because you are a great human the way you are today. Let's talk to her. Let's see what that woman looks like, you know?
Totally. And I want to add to that. It's almost like you're denying that you don't have value until you reach a certain number on this
That part,
scale or a pant size. Then, like,
that
once you
part.
hit like a size two or whatever the thing is, then you have
Mm-hmm.
value. Then you can show up
Mm-hmm.
and be your best self.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
It totally ties into it. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So what's the second thing you wish more women knew?
The second thing I wish more women knew, let's see. Hmm. I'm all into a self-care era right now. I feel like because it's kind of I'm in the middle of it. But the second thing I wish women knew about after knowing that they are enough is that to take care of themselves, put themselves first too. And that's okay. To rid themselves of guilt of trying to put themselves first. When you are in the real life or in the real world that you're in, you have a lot of things pulling at you, a lot of commitments and name it, fill in the blank, whatever that looks like. Sometimes we forget that we are in the mix as well. I know I've been through that. When you are not putting yourself as priority, it hinders your growth in some way because it subconsciously you're telling yourself you're not as valuable, you're not as important. But putting yourself first intentionally you will not just feel better about yourself, but you'll be able to achieve more for yourself and for the people around you. So you're enough and give yourself the guiltless putting yourself first, if that makes any sense. Give yourself no guilt about putting yourself first.
Yeah. So I hear that a lot in this idea that if you were to consider yourself a priority, then that is where the guilt, maybe even some shame, or this
Oh
idea that
yeah.
you are being selfish comes in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's a mindset shift that you've used, maybe personally or professionally, to really work through those emotions? Because those are really valid, right?
Very, very valid. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're present, but they
Mm-hmm.
not be accurate.
Okay, so one of the things that it's an exercise that I kind of taught myself is to play out the scenario in my mind, right? Whatever the scenario is. And if we go to the most extreme and I don't put myself first, what does that look like in a scenario where I'm helping everything else around me and everyone else around me, my business and all the things, and I don't put myself first, I burn out. I fall sick. All the things that can happen to our human self, our human bodies by not putting ourselves first happens. And then when that happens, I'm not able to show up in all of those areas. So when I know that I've hit the limit or I've hit a maximum in today or this week, I pause and I pull back and I do something for me. Like this happened recently where I literally said, I'm doing this for me. I said it out loud, like I'm doing this for me because in my mind I was having that conversation with myself, and I had felt that I'd given so much to all the things that were happening in that day or that week, and I wanted to, even if it's just sitting down with a cup of tea, because I love a good tea, and there's no one in the house or no one in the room that I'm in, and just put on some light music, have some tea, and just chill. That's a me moment, and that's me putting myself first before I'm able to give of myself. So it could be just getting a pedicure done, getting a manicure done, or whatever that looks like for you, but do it for yourself. And yes, it's selfish in that moment, but it's a selfish moment for you so that you can give up yourself. I mean, it's almost like saying that it's selfish. It's like there's a bad connotation to it, but it really is not,
Hmm.
because if you're not selfish, then who will take care of you? Yes, your partner is there, or you have a spouse that is very caring and daring, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just want to take care of you and just love on yourself. And that's okay too. I'm a big proponent of that in so many levels because I feel rejuvenated. I'm filled up and able to take on the world in so many capacities, and that makes a whole lot of difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a personal story with this because this one's really difficult. I will say for me,
Yeah.
it's more of my nature to want to like serve others and be present with others versus to
Hmm.
serve or be present with myself. And this has been a
Yeah.
journey, particularly over the last 2 years, to really start pouring into my own
Oh
uh,
yeah.
cup, if you will.
Oh
And
yeah.
I started noticing that I would like everything around me was just really pissing me off. Like I was like, what's going on? Like I'm so I'm just so agitated. And I was like, all right, I'm past
Yep.
the threshold and I need, like you said, I need a me moment. And
You
I
need a me moment.
yeah, I sat on my couch. I was with my cats and I just had hand over heart, hand over stomach, and started weeping.
Mm.
Like he maxed
Mm-hmm.
like, and it took 20 minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
I was regulated. I felt fine. I re-engaged,
Yep.
good to go. But
Yep.
I like literally shocked myself of like, oh, that was 20 minutes. That's all I needed.
Yeah. 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 And
Very
a
interesting.
good indicator for me, especially like I said, I'm in a self-care era, and a good indicator for me is when I'm snappy at my husband, or when my mom lives with me, partly during the year, when I'm like irritated with what she's doing that's kind and nice and caring. I'm like, okay, Lynda, self-check. We need a me moment, and that is a good indicator. So whatever that looks like for me, and it looks different. Like I said recently, I had to like, I'm a very night person. Like I love to stay up at night. I love the quiet and the calm in the nighttime a lot. So, but this time it was an early morning situation, which is so unlike me. I got up really early and I just came downstairs in the house here, and I just, no TV on, no nothing on, just me and myself and just a cup of tea, cuddle up on the couch. And that was all I needed in that moment. Yeah. So it's a real thing. It's really, really rejuvenating. And again, it's not selfish. It's just us taking care of ourselves so that we're able to give of ourselves.
Yeah. Very self-full act.
Self full. I like that.
Yeah. Well, Lynda, this has been such a pleasure. I really am so thankful that we crossed paths and that you came
Oh
up to me
yeah.
and that we started the conversation. Any last thoughts that you would just like to share for this podcast at least?
Yeah, absolutely. I know we're on here, talking about, it looks like we ended up talking more about like self-care and our women being enough, ourselves as women being enough to and showing up to the world as we truly are. That's I'm glad those were the messages that came through because even in running my brand Central Jeans, it's something that's always in the back of my mind with every piece that I'm designing, with every intentional thread or trims or whatever that I'm picking out for the jeans. That's the intention behind it. So when we show up intentionally in the world and different spaces, we want to show up as ourselves because we are enough. That's like the one last thing that I want to leave our viewers with here today, that there is absolutely nothing you can do wrong if you show up as yourself because you are enough.
You are enough. I think that's a wonderful message to share with those that are going to be listening.
Absolutely.
All right, Linda. Well, thank you so much again for your time. I look forward to chatting more with you soon.
Absolutely, Jana. Thank you so much for having me.
This has been Talkin' Shit. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up or leave a review on the Apple Podcast app. If you want more episodes, click that subscribe button. And if you want to learn more, visit healthwins.org. Talkin' Shit is produced and hosted by me, Jana. This production is also made possible by the Community Media Access Collaborative. Learn more at cmac.tv. See you next time.